Hello everybody, and today we are here with another board game review. Today we'll be reviewing Decktective.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we will be telling you that why you should play Decktective Bloody Red Roses. Decktective is a series of detective games which comes in just a deck of cards. So these are small box games, and there are multiple games available in this series, and today we'll be looking at Bloody Red Roses. Now, one of the unique things about these games is that you use the cards to make a panoramic 3D crime scene, something like this. So actually what we have actually done is used the box lid itself and the inside to actually allow the cards to stand in between and make the scenario, and it then comes into this beautiful panoramic view of the crime scene, which you will need to look at, analyze, and see what might be happening here. Now, one of the cool things about this game is it doesn't come with a rule book.
Oh, yes!
So what you do is there is a rule book, but the rules are very simple, so they are written just on a piece of card. So as you start playing, you will get to know the rules. Yeah, you will get to know the rules as you discover or open cards one by one. So you will be given a gist of the story or the theme, and then you will be given instructions on how to set up this crime scene. You will get the cards, which I have already taken out to set them up, and then it will give you the rules for the number of players. This game can be played from 1 to 6 players. Although one caveat I will tell you right now is the game is easier with the lesser number of players that you play with. It becomes more easier because the more people will have the clue, and I will explain you how it is played, and that will become more apparent.
Gimme.
So,
I said gimme.
alright. So what the players are going to get are, these are now the case files, the different evidences, the different things you are going to observe, interrogate, and all the players are going to get these distributed based on the distribution given based on the number of players. So let's say I will get 4 cards, Ishal will get 4 cards, and then we will be looking at it without showing it to each other, even though this is a co-op game. But how the game actually mechanism is going to work is that we have to keep this information hidden as of now. What you will be actually getting in these cards is different kind of information. Maybe there is some interrogation option, maybe there is something to explore, maybe there is an observation that you have made. Not all of these are going to be useful. So what the players are trying to decide is that which of this information may be related to this case based on the hunch they have. You might not have any concrete information, but I think this information is more related to the case rather than this information. And then you're going to play these cards. How the cards are played is, you're going to have one archive. The number of cards in the archive is going to tell you that what kind of card you can play. So for example, in the top of these cards, you will be able to see that we have number 1 and number 2 on the top.
Also for me 3.
So for example, Ishal has 3. So that's the value of the evidence. You can only play those cards equal to the number of discarded cards in the archive. So if I want to play a 2 right now, by playing the card, what it means is to share the information with all the detectives that I think this information is relevant. I cannot do that right now because this requires 2 things to be in the archive. So if I think this information is not that useful, then I'm going to discard this as well. Now there are 2 cards, so now I can play from my hand either 1, which is less than 2, or 2, which is equal to 2. So I can now play any of these cards. But if I still think that these are not useful, I can discard one more information. Now its value has increased to 3. So in future, as you keep playing, you keep getting you keep refreshing your hand of cards as well, and as you can see, slowly the number of evidences required will keep on increasing. Yes, Isha.
Also, there are special cards which are basically like these. Basically, they tell the versions or point of views from different types of people that may be involved with the case.
So as you can see, sometimes you need multiple detectives to form the complete information of a case. Now it's all up to you that what do you think is making sense. Others are sharing some information with you, you are sharing some information, but whatever you have discarded, you have seen those cards, but you cannot verbally tell others what was on the card. Okay, because you think we are limited with time, so it's kind of a time mechanism. It's more mechanic rather than theme, but what the game explains it's time that the detectives don't have time to look at each and everything here. So you have to decide what's more critical for you. So in this way, you will keep on playing, you will keep sharing information will keep popping up, you will keep discarding unrelated cards, and the cards which are related to the crime will be kept here and information will be shared. Players will keep on doing until they run out of these deck of cards. What's going to sometimes also happen is sometimes some events are going to happen which are going to change the scenario. So for example, an event might occur and it will tell you some event has occurred, which will let you change even the scenario here, because these are not fixed. Sometimes things change even in the scene. So it's better that you observe right now, because you might see sometimes something else has happened now in the scene. So what was there before? What really has changed? And how does it relate to the case?
Well,
Once,
wasn't this blank before?
maybe. So once you have run out of these decks of investigation cards, then automatically you will reach the case must be solved. And at this point, the game is going to ask different questions from you. That what have you concluded about the case? Questions will be like,
Who do you think murdered, well...
yeah, who do you think
Further.
murdered? Who do you think, why
What?
do you think, what was the motive?
And... or maybe even what tools were used to murder the person?
Yeah. So it will be questions
Things
like
like
this
that.
which you have to answer. So there are 5 questions, and once what you will be using is, it comes with these paper clips.
Which are absolutely terrible.
Yeah, their quality is very, but you really don't need them. You will be putting clips on what do you think is the real answer, and then once you have answered all your questions, at that time the detectives are free to discuss with each other. So they will be discussing theories. What do they think happened? At this time, even the discarded cards can be discussed, but without looking at them. So if you remember, no, this information which you have revealed now may be related to something I saw before. I did see, for example, a weapon in a drawer, a knife in a drawer, and that's not part of this case. I'm just making it up. So I saw a knife in the drawer. I thought it was a kitchen knife, but maybe that's the murder weapon. So you might be discussing those kind of things even for discarded things which you thought were not relevant at that time. And then you will be giving these answers. And before you actually reveal the answer, you are allowed to change those answers as well based on the theory that you are forming. Once that is done, then you reveal all of them, all of the answers. And then you're going to actually see that how many answers did you give right. And then there is a final scoring chart which is going to tell you that how many answers did you do right and what's your final score, and were you able to solve the case or not. It's a one-time play. Once you have done it, of course you will know the answers and you will not be able to play. But with all escape games, it's just the fun of going through this game, which is the main fun. So Isha, what did you think of this system of Decktective, and then especially regarding this case about Bloody Red Roses?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I really, really like this one. It really did give a sense of his mystery. Not history, excuse me, no. And some of the cards, they were straight up puzzling us like no other. Like, wait, did he murder him? Or did she murder him?
Yeah, you can always work up different theories.
This is... No, regardless. this about this game. It is just the best game in this series I have played so far because, yeah.
Yeah, we have played only 2 games in this series, and I do think this is the better one. Its case was more logical, more relatable. So
It was not confusing.
it was not confusing, and you can
Not
solve
that
it with.
confusing.
Well, there are some difficult questions as well, but again, it's not something which is not solvable, which makes it more interesting, because in the end, you don't want the game to make you look stupid. The game should make you feel like, oh, I was right, and
I'm
that's what
brilliant. They should hire me as a detective.
this game does. The only problem, of course, that I had, as I said in the start, that the lesser number of players you played, the easier it becomes. Why? Because as you have seen this discarding mechanism, if you are the only player playing it, let's say you are playing it solo, then you're looking at all the cards. Discarding the cards doesn't really then mean anything. You have seen everything, so you know each and every possibility, each and every scenario, and then you can make up a story that really what did happen here. And that's what this is. One thing we didn't mention is, what's the story about? We forgot to mention that. So
I
in this,
randomly said Ferdinand and the
yeah.
The
So in the
concept
Bloody
of
Red
one
Roses,
wild.
the story was that there is one guest who was supposed to come at your estate, not your estate, at an estate actually for his wedding proposal, but he's found dead over there. And
Actually,
now,
no. He came to the house to plan the wedding.
yeah, plan the wedding, at some breakfast, but he's found murdered just around the gate of the house. And now you, as a group of detectives, have been called to come and see that who actually was the murderer
Let me
and the
just put on
culprit.
my Sherlock hat and my fancy mustache. No, I don't think that's how it works.
Okay.
That's how it works.
So
Anyways, continue on.
that's it. You were wearing the Sherlock hat, I thought, for something.
Whew.
No? Alright. Anyway, so overall, I do recommend it. It's a short game as compared to other big escape room games. A good recommendation for us. Happy gaming!
Happy gaming. I think they're the murderers. Run!